Beautiful day, beautiful people. I hope y'all are well this Monday morning. I am bringing you a market update today. I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to cover what's going on in Shelby County as a whole, and then I'll talk about a few of the communities, neighborhoods, zip codes, and give a little detail about those too. I won't cover all zip codes, just a few where there are some increase in values in home values, or the list price, um, where the homes are being sold above list price. So I'm going to cover that. So I'm gonna get into it. I'm going to be reading this because it's a lot of information, and I don't want to try to remember it all, and I want to make certain that I get the numbers right, so I'm giving accurate information. Okay, so for Shelby County as a whole, there were 676 active listings. Oh, I forgot to mention, I am only covering last week, so from February 14th to February 20th. This is just the information for last week. I won't be covering the whole month, just a week at a time. Okay. So for Shelby County, there were 676 active listings. The low price was $4,000. On the high end, it was $5,750,000. $5,750,000. That was the high price point. 26 properties sold in Shelby County last week with a low sale price of $28,000, and on the high end $795,000. The average days on market for the entire county is 37 days. Okay, moving on to Arlington. In Arlington, there were 5 active listings with a low price point of $255,000 and a high of $950,000. 2 properties sold in Arlington last week with a low sale price of $280,000 and a high of $351,000. So in the Arlington area, we're seeing about between a 2% and a 6% increase of what the property is listed for versus what it sells for. So on the low end, they're selling for homes are being sold about 2% above the list price. And then on the high end, they're being sold about 6% above the original list price. Moving on to Bartlett, there were 14 active listings in Bartlett. On the low end was $130,000, and on the high end $385,000. And 1 property sold in Bartlett last week for $133,000. And in Bartlett, we're seeing an increase of list price versus sale price by about 2%. And the average days on market in Bartlett is 72 days. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the active days on the average days on market for Arlington is 1 day. So homes are being sold within 1 day of hitting the market. In Bartlett, and this was just last week. This is again, I'm only doing a week. So in Bartlett, I think I said 72 days. So that was for the 1 property that sold in Bartlett last week. For Collierville, there were 44 active listings. On the low end, $395,000, and on the high end, almost $1.6 million. 3 properties sold in Collierville last week. 3 properties sold. On the low end, $313,000, and on the high end, $580,000 was the high end. And the average days on market in Collierville is 8 days. And we're seeing about a less than a 0.5% increase of sold price versus list price in Collierville for last week. In Cordova, there were 24 active listings in Cordova. The low end, 136,000, and on the high end, 3.5 million. I don't know what that was, what that is, but it's 3.5 million in Cordova. 4 properties sold in Cordova last week. On the low end, 171,000, and on the high end, 365,000. The average days on market in Cordova is 16 days. The increase of sold price versus list price on the low end is about 0.5%. On the high end, we're seeing about a 7% increase in sold price over list price. So the whatever the list price was, it sold for about 7% more than that. And East Memphis, I am talking about the zip codes 38117, 38119, and 38120. There were 72 active listings. The low price point was 95,000. On the high end was 3.65 million. There were 4 properties sold in East Memphis last week. On the low end, 192,700, and on the high end, 765,000. The average days on market in East Memphis is 42 days, and the increase, the percentage increase of sold price over list price, on the low end, we're seeing a 10% increase, and on the high end, we're seeing about a 2% increase. And Germantown. In Germantown, there were 24 active listings in Germantown. On the low end, $325,000. On the high end, 1.9 million, right at $2 million. 2 properties sold in Germantown last week. On the low end, $375,000, and on the high end, $795,000. The average days on market in Germantown is 11 days. The sale price versus list price, we're seeing an increase on the low end about 5%, and then on the high end, we're seeing about a 0.5% increase in sale price over list price. And finally, we're going to look at Southeast Memphis. I'm looking at the zip codes 38141 and 38125. There were 12 active listings. On the low end, 159,900, and on the high end, 1.75 on the high end. And 1 property sold in Southeast Memphis last week for $119,000. The average days on market in Southeast Memphis is 31 days, and we're seeing about a 4% increase in sale price over list price. So that is just a brief overview of the market for last week, the days on market, and what sold last week. The interest rates for last week for a 30-year fixed rate was 2.8%. For a 15-year fixed rate mortgage, we saw about a 2.2% interest rate, and then for a 5-year adjustable rate mortgage, we saw about 2.7%. So interest rates are still fairly low. They're creeping up a little bit, but they're still under 2%. We're still seeing under 2% interest rates. So if you're looking to refinance or to even purchase a home, interest rates are still really low. If there is an area that you would like for me to cover, a zip code or community that you would like to know what's going on in that market, you can leave me a message in the comments, or you can send me a direct message. I'd be happy to get that information to you. I hope this has been helpful. You have a fantastic Monday, and a fantastic week as well. All right, until next time.